Hey everybody, welcome back to Cars and Cows. Sunday afternoon. Had a little front blow through here this morning early. Fall is definitely here. It's a whole lot cooler today than it was yesterday. The wind's blowing. But I'm up here in my shop. I got a little project I'm kind of working on. Whenever we work on these old or building an old car or truck, hot rod, etc., there's a whole bunch of little things you got to do before it all comes together as one. So got a little project over here on my welding table I'm gonna show you. But then after I get that done, I'm fixing to jump my old truck and I'm gonna head over to my mom's. I'm gonna talk to her about her first car, which was a '57 Chevrolet. I'm gonna talk to her a little bit about that. She dug out some pictures, I think, of it she had back in the day, and going to talk to her about her 43 years working at Holley. That was her only job. She started there right out of high school. So just hang tight a second, and I'll be right back. So what I got going on, I got a little project for my wheels I bought from a '55. Uh, I scored a set of center lines over in Cynthiana, Kentucky on Marketplace. Got them off a gentleman. They come off his Nova. Kind of a cool story. I called and talked to him and asked him why he pulled those center lines off and selling them. But anyway, he had that Nova in high school and dated his wife and everything. After they got married and had kids, he sold it. I guess because like everybody else needed the money. But here recently, he found that car again and bought it back, but it had these center lines on it, and he wanted it back like he had it in high school with a set of rallies. So anyway, he pulled the center lines off, and exactly what I was looking for my '55, 3.5s and 8s. But the lug nuts are they're kind of rusted in places and just need a little TLC. And you see, got the rust on a little bit. Of course, them lug nuts, or not the lug nuts, but the washers, they pretty rough looking. But what I'm doing, I learned this trick back when I was a kid, cleaning bicycle wheels. Them chrome bicycle wheels is to take 4/0 steel wool and clean them up, and they shine up pretty nice. I've already done my front wheel or front lug nuts, my bad. But yeah, they shine up pretty good. And since them washers are so bad, I may go over them with red Scotch Brite first because they're a little rougher. Then go over them with the steel wool. But I come up with an idea of, you need to wax them after you've done that, after you've cleaned them. But I come up with a crazy idea. It may and or may not work, but I just dump. I've already done the front lug nuts, and I just dumped them into a cup, and I just poured it full of McGuire's wax. So I'm just going to let them soak in that wax, and it'll soak into the pores and stuff, I guess. Hopefully, like I said, I've never tried it. It'll either work or it won't. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But yeah, I always wanted center lines. I never could afford them back when I was a kid. And another thing I've learned to do is cleaning up these squeals. Is I went over my front one of my front ones with that steel wool, and they clean up pretty nice. All you got to do is make sure you go with the grain, where they've been machined. Just kind of go with the grain. But yeah, they clean up pretty nice. The back one, you can tell it's not real bad. They're not bad. They just got some oxidation on them, but nothing terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna run different tires. They came with tires. I scored a pretty good deal with them. I couldn't complain. I sent my son and our old buddy Riley. He went with my son. They drove over. I give them the money, and they went over to Cynthiana and picked them up for me. But I think they're going to look pretty good on my old '55. Like I said, I've always wanted a set. But anyway, I'm getting ready to jump my old truck, and I'm going to go over and see my mom, and we're going to talk about her old '57 Chevrolet and talk about her all the years she worked at Holley. So y'all just hang tight. All right, let's try this again. See if we can get her. Get her this time. Okay. Hey everybody, I made it over to my mom's. This is my mom. Say hi to everybody, mom. Hi. I've come over this morning to talk to her about her old '57 she bought it in 1959. Bought it down at Harry Leachman Motors downtown. They were a Dodge Plymouth Chrysler dealership downtown, and they didn't even sell Chevrolets other than used cars. But you bought it down there. How you said you give? How much did y'all give for it?
$1,600.
$1,600, and you financed that on, I think you said about 2 years.
Yeah.
Your car payment was just about $66.
$66.
$66 a month on 2 years. Well, and that's about what I paid for my first car that y'all helped me get, a '69 Super Sport Camaro. I got it when I was 15 and a half. It sat in the driveway for 6 months before I could drive it, but we got it for $1,800 over at Gary Ford's used car lot. And yeah, it was 1,800. I think y'all paid 500 down on it for me, and my 3 years, my payment was like $63 a month, something like that. It wasn't nothing terrible. Now I wish I had that car back. But so you drove it until you and Daddy were married, got married, and y'all bought another car, an old Mercury. I remember it was, man, that old Mercury. It was a blue, I think.
Yeah.
And that thing had a lot of problems. I remember one time I was just little. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. I remember you leaving the house and it caught on fire as soon as you pulled out on the street. You
Yeah.
had to call the fire department to come pull it out or put it out. I mean,
And
but you drove that. Y'all drove it until you and Daddy got married, and y'all got that old Mercury.
no, we got the Mercury after Dad and I was married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Mm.
And then y'all give the '57 to Granddaddy, and he drove it for a pretty good while. And then the transmission went out of it. It was a '57 4-door Bel Air. It was white, and it had the red and black Bel Air interior in it. And it had a 283 with power pack heads. I remember it had a Carter 4 barrel, and it had a Power Glide transmission. And the transmission went out of it, and he just parked it under a old cedar tree out there in the front yard, and it sat for 20 plus years, I guess. I remember we'd go down there on Saturdays. My mom's mom, grandmother, we called her. She was bedfast, and she had gone blind. She had diabetes and had gone blind, and she was bedfast. So on Saturdays, mom would take us kids and go down, and she would clean house, wash clothes, and etc. And so for granddad and grandmother, and I would go. I was just a kid. I'd go out there and play in that old car, pretend like I was driving a hot rod. And gases were a big thing at that time. That was back in the or late '60s. I was probably about 69, 70 maybe. I was 6, 7 years old, and gassers were kind of a big thing. And I found an old bumper jack somewhere in Granddaddy's old shop, and I took that old bumper jack and I jacked the front of that car up just as high as I could get it, and that was my gasser. I had me a gasser, so I got there and play in it. But fast forward a few years, a friend of mine, him and his dad were building a two-door '57 Chevrolet, and they came down there and they give Granddaddy, I think, $100 for that old car. It doesn't sit there and rusted into the ground almost. But all the stainless and the driver's or the passenger side front fender was still good on it, and the doors. Of course, you couldn't use four. It was a 4-door car, but anyway, they used a lot of parts off of it. But you had a wreck, and it was that after you and Daddy got married.
No, that's
That was before you and Daddy were married. You had a wreck in it.
Yeah.
What happened there? You were.
I had a pile of gravel. Sun was coming in.
You couldn't see. The sun was blinding you, and you run over a pile of gravel.
Yeah.
I remember the driver's side front fender on that old car being buckled a little bit. But so it sat there until they bought it, and but like I said, my buddy's dad bought it and used a lot of whatever parts he could use off of it to help build his 2-door '57. So it's good to know, parts of that car are still around, even though the rest of it's probably went to the scrapyard, I'm sure. But yeah, my buddy, his dad passed away, and he got the old '57, and he done a frame swap. I believe he put it over on a Roadster shop chassis, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, and I think they even put an LS motor in it. But it's good to know, parts of your old car are still out there and still going up and down the road anyway. But another thing is, you worked 43 years at Holley Carburetor.
Yes.
You started there, you said
1957.
1957. And that was your only job. You worked there for 43 years, and you retired what in '01?
Yep.
You took retire. You got a layoff. What
Yeah.
you said the spring of '01,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. March of March 8th, 2001, and then I got another one, and then after that run out my unemployment and all, then I went out and signed papers and retired.
Retired in I
It
think you
was,
said October.
yeah, second day October 2001.
I got you. Well, over those years, you made a lot of friends out there. There's Holley employed thousands of people back in the '60s and '70s and even into the '80s. And of course, things have changed a lot with Holley over the years. But one guy I'm friends with is Eddie McCoy, and he's just like you. I ate breakfast with him. A bunch of us guys, I don't know, 15, 20 guys on Friday mornings. They're all old car guys. We eat breakfast out at Melissa's. And this last Friday morning, there's a guy out there named Blue. First time I'd met him, you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Blue Steel.
Yes.
And then Eddie, I sat with them, and I believe they both started right out of high school. But Eddie, he worked there and retired, and then he went back. So he's back at Holley working again, even after retirement. Oh, Eddie, he's a hoot. But half them guys that eat breakfast out there worked at Holley at one time or another. And another boy was sitting with us, Rick. He worked there too. They was telling stories about all the stuff that they done when they worked at Holley. And as a matter of fact, Eddie had on his phone a bunch of pictures of what Holley looks like today. And they were talking about that, how much the plant has changed over the years. And so one of your best friends was Willadine. Y'all worked together, and you started, you said, making diaphragms. Was that your first job there at the plant, main plant?
Yeah.
And you made diaphragms. But I remember, like I said, I used to drive a freight truck, and one of the places I would pick up and deliver was at Holley Carburetor out there. And sometimes I'd go in the mornings and make a delivery. I'd go over and say hi to you. And you were working on punch press at that time, and you were the only woman there for a long time.
Yeah.
And
then the Von Grace got transferred in.
Okay.
And with me.
So did Willadine and you work together much?
No, when she first come in, that's how we met. We worked together for a little while, but I can't remember just whereabouts. And that's how we got acquainted.
I got you. And of course, her husband Roy worked with my daddy out at McClellan Stone Company.
Yeah, your daddy helped him get out.
And they were just really good friends. I can remember they every year go to the Smokies together, and then we were either always going to their house or they were coming over, and y'all would play rook and stuff like that. Just had a big old time. But Willadine, she's 90. You're 86.
Yes.
And you lost your license here a few years ago on county eyesight. But Willadine's 90, and she's still driving. And so she'll come over and pick mom up, and they'll go out and run around like Thelma and Louise, run around town, go drink coffee, and go out to eat, go shopping together and stuff. So I think it's pretty neat. She's still able to drive during the daytime. You said she can't drive at night.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Granddaddy got like that where he couldn't drive at night either. His eyesight got bad. But anyway, I just thought it'd be interesting. Some folks out there might be interested in hearing your story about Holley, and I got a lot of guys I'm going to be talking to in the future that worked at Holley, and they'll probably have some stories too. My brother-in-law and your son-in-law Brad, he was maintenance supervisor at Holley for a while, and but he's not there anymore. I think he goes to jet over. We're right at the very end of the runway. It's where my mom lives, right at the very end of the runway. I don't know if you knew that jet coming in or not, but yeah, Brad, he worked there for several years. He was a maintenance supervisor, but he's since quit, and I think he works at the Corvette plant doing the same thing out there now. But anyway, I just thought people might be interested in hearing your story a little bit, working at Holley, about your old car. So we're going to call this one good, and y'all be sure to like and comment and subscribe, and we'll just see you on down the road.